Alright, so we're on to the paint stripping phase. We're in the basement. Little change of scene here. When you do this, you are working with heavy chemicals, and the vapors need a chance to escape. You don't want to breathe them in as little as possible. Let's go over PPE to start. What I'm wearing right now, you would think that, oh, look at him being prudent, being safe. These are exam gloves. They're nitrile exam gloves, and they're not sufficient when dealing with chemicals. And this is really all I have right now. What you want are more heavy-duty, chemical-resistant gloves. They're made from the same material, but these don't really cut it. But we're not going directly into paint stripper. I'm going to be using a hook to fish this stuff out. So keep that in mind. You can wear these underneath the chemical resistant gloves if it makes you feel better, if you want extra protection, but these on their own do not suffice. So what I have here, this is my paint stripper, and I have a jar of what was just regular water. So I'll take my metal hook, which I have somewhere around here, and you want it to be metal because it's not going to eat away at this. You don't want to use plastic because it's not going to last. So what I took a metal coat hanger and I cut it in half, and I use that to fish my cars out of my jars. Now, I haven't always done it this way, and I want you to avoid this mistake at all costs. When I first started in 2017, I used this product called Citrus Strip. And the problem with Citrus Strip is that it's thick, much like the paint stripper is to start. But the problem is it gets stuck in the crevices of these cars. When it hardens, it's a pain to get out. And when it's gummed up, and you're trying to scrape all of your paint and gunk off, it is a pain in the neck. That's one of the issues with it. Whereas with the paint stripper that comes in the blue tin, I can't remember what the company name is exactly. I think it's like Clear Strip or something like that. Or anyway, it sloughs off much better than the alternative, than Citrus Strip does. I bought Citrus Strip originally because it didn't emit such harmful vapors. It had a pleasant orange smell, but I still knew that, you know, you shouldn't breathe this stuff in as well as this stuff. So when you do this, the last part of the PPE, and most important, is probably wear a respirator when you handle stuff like this. And also, when you use Citrus Strip, and this is what I did to start. I had 20, 30 cars in a plastic bin just like this, okay? And I put the Citrus Strip over thinking, oh, I can mass produce cars. I can strip paint off of 30 cars at once and be more efficient that way. But the problem is, you know, life happens and you get busy with other things, school, work, whatever. And the problem with the Citrus Strip is that when you let it sit too long on your cars, it will create craters in them. And I have an example of that right here somewhere. Well, you might not be able to see it that well, but yeah, you see that little dot right there? That's a hole. That's a hole in this Ford Mustang, and that's from it sitting in that Citrus Strip for as long as it did. I'm sorry for this being so blurry, by the way. But it'll make craters, and if you let it sit long enough, it'll put holes right through. And you don't want, obviously, you do not want your products, you don't want your bodies to have anything like that. You want these as flawless as you can make them. And so Citrus Strip, for a myriad of reasons, is no good for this project. So steer clear of this stuff. Alright, so there's that. So I just began this process recently. This is more efficient. You can let cars sit in this stuff for 6 or 7 months. And I learned that last night when I did my first take of this video, when I was putting the 02, 68, and 98 from the first video into this stuff and pulling the other stuff out, the other cars that were in here, they were unscathed. No craters, no holes, no nothing. This stuff, it's just another reason why you gotta go with this stuff instead. Now, yeah, it's harmful. It might be a little daunting at first. There's a lot of materials to collect to begin this hobby. But in the long run, and if you're prudent and safe, it's rewarding, and you make a lot of friends in the process, and perhaps a lot of money. And you're bringing life to things that would otherwise not have made it with Lionel and Racing Champions not producing it. Anyway, I've said that before in other installments, but you know, I just like saying it. So I'll take cars and I'll fish them out of here, out of this paint stripper. Oh my gosh. Well, maybe I should probably use the other side, right? And I'll just... Now, you probably want, like, shop towels sitting underneath this, because this will drip. This will drip like crazy. But I'm already seeing the cars that I put in last night. Yeah, you see, hopefully that shows up. This was an all-green car last night. And it's already... This stuff works. I mean, this was probably sloughing off of this after 2 or 3 hours last night, but... and I think there might just be like a metallic layer of paint underneath. But it's good to see that this stuff is still doing its job, even after being diluted for a couple of years. Still pretty good. Alright. Anyway, yeah, I'll show you the cars that are ruined. Right here. Ain't that a pity? And you don't see exactly, let me get that closed, because, well, the vapors are bad. The vapors coming off of that baby are pretty bad. So, we don't want to be, I don't want to be inhaling that too much. But yeah, so many cars ruined because of inexperience. Stupid decision on my part. Please don't do anything like that. Perhaps you could have, I mean, I have 6 or 7 cars sitting in here. That's good. But you don't want this sitting open. You don't want this, the vapors escaping. And you want to keep this away from any open flames. Obviously, that's a big deal. So I have a jar of just regular water, or what was regular water. Now it's got a bunch of paint chips swirling around in it. But this is just to clear off whatever excess paint and other junk that came off of the cars originally. So I'll probably end up taking that out. Which actually I am right now. I will do that for you. There's a Matt Kenseth car, or what was a Matt Kenseth car, in there. And yeah, I should have brought shop towels, because then I can just take it right out and just clear off whatever is left on this Kenseth car and whatever else is in there. And a lot of that paint is not escaping. A lot of that paint is just going to stay right in that jar. And you can also just take the coat hanger and just scrape off whatever's in there, you know? It's a, I'd say this is a fairly efficient way of doing this. But you might want a bigger jar. This is all I had available at the time. But anyway, yeah. So there's that. There you have it. Be prudent, wear protection. Don't be like me in my younger years, or even now. Wear a respirator, wear your gloves. I tried once to wear sandblaster gloves, which are rubber and PVC, and this stuff still ate through it. So please go with the chemical resistant stuff. and wear your mask, and don't use citrus strip for this job, for this hobby, ever. Really, really not great. So those are the key points from this video. I'll see you in the next one.